All right, today on 3D Outdoors, Anthony and I have been doing a lot of, shall we call it yard work? I don't know. You can see the apple tree behind us, and you see the damage on the trunk down below there. Fortunately, this one I was able to wrap half of it before the rabbits ate them all off, but we had a lot of snow this year that just didn't go away. And they got to the rest of the apple trees and pear trees before I had a chance to wrap them. Haven't had that problem in 20 years. So didn't expect it. It was a surprise. So had to do some upgrades. You can see this apple tree is blooming, so looking great here. But we're going to walk through real quick what we did. We fixed the well, so we're getting well water to water all this with, and we planted 23 trees. Yeah, you heard me right, 23. We got some chestnut, some American permissions, I think they're called. They're good for deer and wildlife. We planted those for the wildlife. But then we have a bunch of apple trees. We have a couple of pear trees, a couple of peach trees, a couple of cherries, and the plums didn't show up. So we still have to plant those when they show up. But let's walk through here real quick. We'll go over what we did in this front area here in front of the HQ. We took some old cattle panels that we had here. We want to keep the deer out of these. And we just did small cages at the bottom for the rabbits to keep the rabbits off them for now. We may have to go higher if we get to a point to where we're worried about snow this next winter. But right now we're going to be fine with that. And you can see we have, what, 7 trees in here, Anthony?
7 trees.
7 trees in this area. Apples, and I think we put the pears. I think we put apples and pears. The really cool thing with these trees are that these are graft trees. So I specifically bought graft trees. That way I would get fruit sooner. I didn't want to wait the 5 or 6 years for a tree to get to the maturity level of having fruit, so I bought graft trees. The other neat thing about that is, and I don't know if you can see it on this one here, but it has multiple tags hanging on it. So yes, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tags on that. That's how many different kinds of apple that tree should produce. They have all been grafted with different parts of different trees, so they produce different apples. Really cool feature on those there. We'll keep walking here. We'll go over to the cherries. Those 2 cherries are planted together. They were in the pot together, and I'm not sure if they were supposed to stay together. I'm sure they're pollinators together, so we just planted them that way, and they're not all that big. So we put that right in the front yard here at the HQ. Wrapped it up real nice so no deer or rabbits should be able to get into there. We'll keep going back here. This was the area back here where most of the apple trees used to reside, where my dad planted them way back in the day, and you can probably see that one off in the distance there. We left that one. That was a little too big to rip out with a skid loader. We did tear out all the other trees that were damaged with the skid loader so that we could clear the space and get ready for more trees. But you can see that big apple tree over there. The rabbits, even in a mature tree like that, they ripped everything off the bottom. The tree is budding a little bit, but that's just because there's nutrients up in the bark yet up above. There's no way for anything to get from the ground up. But we have one of our trees here, nicely wrapped, ready to go. Another one there. And we have, what's that?
The peach trees.
Those are the peach trees, yep. And yes, in the Midwest, in zone 4, those are rated to grow here. And then we have the American permissions. These are going to take a lot of years to get big. These were a lot less expensive. I already spent a bunch on those other ones. So we went with smaller trees for these. There's asparagus patch. That's really coming fast this year. I mean, so fast you can't even get it harvested. Kind of a weird year. Got some more trees planted along here, the American permissions. We put the chestnuts in between the other trees out there. We figure some of those trees are going to start dying off now. So we want to fill that space back in out there. But yeah, just look at that tree there. The bark is just completely gone all the way around. It is budding out. I should actually try to graft this tree a little bit myself. But you can literally see how high the snow was this winter in certain times. You got it down there, but up here, you can see this is all ate off too from the drift that was up here. Just did a lot of damage. So we'll have to see when I get back later this week if I can try to graft some of this into another tree out here and see if it'll take. And then we have, what do we have here on this tree, Anthony?
I feel it's a pear tree.
That's a pear, and that's one of the multiples, isn't it?
Yep, the multi-fruiting apple.
Yeah, so this one here has got all kinds of different, 5 different apples again on this one that have been grafted in. And you can see how it's a little larger bump where they're hooked in there. Really neat process. Like I said, we have the well running right now, so we're going to be able to keep water coming to these.
It's a black apple tree. And
that's a black apple? Okay. So yeah, it's a lot of neat different apples that we're going to have out here, a lot of different fruits. It'll be great for us. We'll have fresh fruit all the time for the family. And also the deer and the wildlife will be able to get some of that too. But just a quick update from the HQ. Yeah, so 23 trees in a day, all wrapped, all planted, all watered, the well fired up, everything. So it's been a busy day and a busy weekend. This is Dan and Anthony with 3D Outdoors, reminding you to get into the outdoors and enjoy everything it has to offer. If you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. And you can always follow us over at 3d-outdoors.com, which is our website where we pull everything together. See you next time.